very much motivated to give more perspective about the business side. There's a lot of focus on the creative side, which is great, but to be able to sustain the creative side, the business side needs to be right. We're beginning to see an evolution. The films are getting better, so there is a hunger to be better. Nollywood never settles, and now Nollywood is taking the challenge of Afrobeats. Afrobeats is selling all these countries. We are already visible through Netflix and Prime. How can we even be bigger? So Nollywood is also ambitious. I never endorse or support financial or sexual exploitation. My counsel will be, if the 150k you thought, or 200k or however much, 50k, 25k, you thought was appalling or insulting to your stature, do it for free. The reality, my dear sister, of the industry that we have, and it's not different to some of the big industries in the world, is that we run something called a star system. Our audiences respond to faces that they know, they adore. That's what Nollywood was built on. Does that mean we should close the door on new talent? No. It means that the new talent also should work hard and see what does it mean to become a star here. Is it by getting that one opportunity and making it forever memorable? Because that is an essential ingredient to being sought after.
Yellow white people, welcome to another banging episode. It is the MTN Career Series, and today I am very much excited. Of course, my name is Ria Abdul, and you know I always bring you the best when it comes to guests. I bring you change makers, and today I'm going to be talking to a legend. Like, I am super excited to have him right here. When you talk about him, you talk about excellence. With everything he does, he's very precise. He makes sure that it has to be amazing. Over 20 years in the movie industry as well as entertainment, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, come around as we welcome the one and only legend, Moses Babatope. Welcome!
Thank you very much for having me. Wow, what an introduction. Legend, you know.
You are a legend. Over 20 years is not a joke. I was just going through, some of the amazing work that you've done, and I know between 2014 to 2024, Sugar Rush, The Wedding Party 1 and 2, like there's this movie that the strippers something, it has to
Born Again Stripper.
I love the name because it was very peculiar.
Catchy.
The title was very peculiar, and you've put out so much amazing work. How has it been like for you, the journey itself?
First of all, it's great to be here. Thank you for what you do at MTN, inviting people like ourselves to share knowledge. Really great to be on this platform. Look, the journey has been interesting. It's been full of its challenges. It's been exciting. I get to meet incredible people on every day. We get to find a way to excite, educate, inform Nigeria through film. I get to be challenged to find ways to get our content to as many as possible around the world. So it's a very, very interesting career path, interesting job. I didn't know I would be here. If you asked me when I was, studying for money banking and finance many years ago in England, I just wanted to do a part-time job, and I ended up being in the cinema. And from there, cinema, just enjoying that work, I was fascinated by the whole business of it all, and here we are.
And here we are today. I know you almost answered what I was going to ask you next. When did you know that it was movies? And first of all, because I know you started, you were supposed to do finance.
Yes.
How did your parents take it? Because you have your young son, I'm going to do finance. The next thing, mommy, I want to do movies. So how was the switch? How did they take it?
I'll be honest with you, Ria, bro. It wasn't until 5 years ago that my dad kind of accepted. Every time, my father is a clergyman. He's also a media person. He used to address cinema as cinema. And if you know those African parents that do cinema like almost like it's for dropouts, it's for people that that have nothing to do with their time. He never really understood the business of it, but I knew within a year of doing the work part-time. So I was working I was studying full-time at Middlesex University in London, and I was working part-time. I came from a very conservative background. We rarely watched TV. I was a deeper lifer. So I was immersed in this world of watching people in a darkened auditorium, big screen, big sound. They were enjoying popcorn and drink. My entrepreneurial side kicked in, and then they were having this great experience. I was like, this is going to work in Nigeria, and I think I want to be part of those that will take it to Nigeria. That was when he stopped. That it looks like this is what I'm going to do.
up to now, just 5 years ago is when he.
Oh,
How are you juggling it?
I was just like, you know what? He will hear about what I'm doing one way or the other, and as God will have it, every now and then people will call him. We saw your son on newspaper. People will call him. We saw him signing a deal with this very big person.
Yeah.
Somebody would say, so it became overwhelming for him that, look, okay, it looks like this thing that you're doing, is, and I think the highlight of it, the current president of Nigeria, I was opportuned to give a presentation at one of his birthday colloquiums. I think that was 2019 March. That was the one that did it for him. His friend and ex-governor of Ekiti State called him up and said, look, Moses, and my name is Muiwa, by the way, like Muiwa is addressing leaders, and he was really shocked, and was like, he called me up and he says, son, you're getting to places that I couldn't get to, and that was a real surreal moment.
Beautiful.
And this is the first time I'm sharing that actually. Yeah. So yeah, that was a moment that what you had passion and you loved doing, and it was making sense, but for it to open doors for you to be, addressing, at the time he wasn't president. I'm sure he had ambitions. Addressing the president now, addressing the Lagos State governor who was looking to be Lagos State governor, the vice president then, Senate leaders, all of those people, about the opportunities in our industry. That was a big one. Yeah.
And I want to highlight on something you said. The fact that sometimes our parents, when you tell them you want to do movies or art or whatever, they always feel like, oh, it's like a dropout job, it's not lucrative and everything. Not just for you, for a young person out there that wants to do that. Do you think you've been able to change that narrative?
I think we've done well, but there's still a lot to do. I think, and that's I'm very much motivated, and that's why I like to do things like this, to give more perspective about the business side. There's a lot of focus on the creative side, which is great. But to be able to sustain the creative side, the business side needs to be right. I think we've definitely changed perceptions. You see parents now call you and say, my child is talented in this. Is there any way you can help mentor? Is there any way you can help guide? That didn't used to be the case. Particularly the elite or people in the middle class, they will be, it's the usual professional ones, as doctor,
the lawyer,
engineer, it will be in that realm. But now you're getting parents calling you, they want their children to intern from secondary school. That didn't used to happen before. So I think we're doing something right. But I what we need to balance out as we're getting the creatives, to be good at what they're doing. We need to get them to be knowledgeable about the business side, and we need to get business people around them as well.
For 20 years, it's not a joke, not one, not two. Of course, you've had times that you're like, do I want to continue? Do I want to stop? Of course, you have challenging times. But for you, what would you say has been the most pivotal moment for you in what you do?
Oh, wow. There have been quite a number of moments. And thanks for your questions. They're quite hitting home well. A great moment for me was in England when I was able to, first of all, attract Nigerian audiences to come see Nigerian films late nights, Friday, Saturday nights. They'll come to premieres. These premieres might not start at 12 midnight. And sometimes we can't start at the earliest we can start is 10:30 because we're getting the screens for an affordable price then. And to be able to do that in a consistent manner and getting people out. And I'll tell you why I mentioned this. Those people will buy popcorn and drink. They will use the hall. So from a business standpoint, for the company I worked in, we're doing great. Like, that was awesome. For me, it was that, okay, I was impressing my bosses, but I was helping to create a new market. And now Nigerian films releasing in the UK is the main staple. So that was a very key moment for me, that all these years after university and I was still working in this cinema company in the UK, this was what I was able to do. I was not on the best salary at the time, but for me, I felt I was making impact and I was happy. That was a pivotal moment. Another pivotal moment for me was relocating back from England, to come and join my colleagues to set up Film House and Film World. I never thought I had the guts in me to be back. For me, so early on. And for us to be able to do what we did in a short space of time, we secured private equity money within a year and a half of me coming back, and we were able to do great things. So that was a great moment. And a big moment was bringing together 4 companies to make the iconic wedding party movies. You know, Wedding Party 1 and 2 in 2016 and 2017. For me, great time. And then in 2018, 2019, I was also very influential in bringing about the formation of our Cinema Exhibitors Association of Nigeria, which I'm secretary currently, and also bringing about the box office measurement website called ComScore. That's how you verify the box office data. And through the box office information we have now, a lot of people take the film industry more seriously.
And this is who we call a legend. Like, just, I know you can go on and on and on, but quickly, moving back to Nigeria, I just want, because you mentioned something, I just want to follow up with it. Moving back to Nigeria, what were your fears?
Oh, great. There were a number of fears. For me, how do I fit in? And when I say fit in, I kept in touch with a number of my friends, but I'm not the best in keeping in touch. So
really?
I'm not.
But you're
the
always
best
with
in
your
keeping in
phone.
touch. Yes, I'm always with my phone because I'm dealing with clients all over the world. You know. So how do I fit in? I've been gone. I'd left. By the time I was coming back, I'd left for 12 years. So how do I fit in was a concern. Another concern was, look, I was coming to a startup, and I was because I was coming, in the status as an executive and a co-founder. It was not clear what my salary was going to be. So how do I maintain a family in England, and how do I maintain a family here? And then how do I work with a culture shock? Yes, I grew up in Nigeria, but the ways of doing things, business-wise, the ways of doing things, I'd now become accustomed to things, in the UK. So those things were factors for me. And also, I'm a family man. I'm a deep family man. Living essentially apart for long periods from my family was also a concern. Those are the things that I was afraid of. And I was also afraid of, there was the fear of failure.
Of course, I was
going to hit so on that. If we didn't work out and I was giving up a stable job that had given me a level of influence and I won't call fame, but people knew what I was doing. Giving up that for the unknown. So those were the things that made me.
But if you were to move time back, would you have still made a decision to come to Nigeria?
Yes.
No regrets?
No regrets at all. No regrets at all. The only thing I would say, if I could reverse time, how we utilized funds of that we first got as an entrepreneur. I'm sure most entrepreneurs will tell you, and some of the mistakes we made being entrepreneurs probably could have been avoided.
But we cannot have this conversation without talking about the cinema culture in Nigeria. Where would you say it is now?
Cinema culture in Nigeria, where are we? We are in, I would like to think, stable place given the uncertain economic climate. Actually, the word is not uncertain. The word is very, very harsh economic climate. But it's stable because over the last 2-3 years, where we've had very harsh inflation, cinema has still proved very resilient. Right? It's not the numbers that was before pre-pandemic, before pandemic, but it's proved resilience. And what has it been resilient against? It's been resilient against currency devaluation. It's been resilient against a change in government. It's been resilient against student strikes. It's been resilient against consumer behavior. People are streaming more. That's the truth. It's been resilient against the optionality for filmmakers to take their content streaming that comes to cinema. It has been resilient because we've had to increase prices as well, to for cinema businesses to even stay alive. Despite that, people are still coming, and it tells you that there is something there that can be worked on. The cost of marketing has gone up, cost of goods, cost of maintenance. Because of the foreign exchange, everything you need to, set up a cinema has gone up. But with the ones we have, they're competitive. Apart from that, we're still seeing pockets of new locations coming out. So I think that it's weathered a lot of storms, and where we are currently in the era where suddenly the streamers have kind of slowed down. Cinema is now proving to be the savior. It's now proving to be the outlet. we have a lot of work to do to continue to convince people that they can spend their naira, hard-earned naira, going to cinemas. But we also have another challenge to ensure that we can make cinema for all. Right now, cinema seems to be for people of a certain class, of certain, earning brackets. We have a challenge to be able to, make it for all, and that's what our company now, media, is trying to look at. How can we make it accessible for those in the lower tier in life to those to the highest?
We'll definitely dig deep into Nile Media and all of that. But do you think? I don't want to say do you think, because you mentioned that streaming has really affected cinemas, because I would rather stream a movie than go to the cinema, and I know it's not just me. Like, a lot of young people will do that. How would you describe that as well? Look, would you rather? Okay, let me ask you an honest question. Would you rather stream or go to the cinema? And be honest.
I'll do both. I'll be honest.
So which would you do first?
Because I grew up in cinema.
Okay.
I would always. There are films that I would not see on a small screen. I would not see on my laptop or my smart TV or my phone. It just doesn't do it justice. There are films that I must see, not even alone. I will see with friends on a big screen, big sound, and we have those moments together, moments of laughter, moments of all of those things.
So give me an example. What kind of movie? Tell me what movie.
So, for example, for me, Avatar. Avatar is out of this world. Dune. There are so many movies. The James Bond movies. The high octane action, like where explosions are explosions, not CGI.
Okay, so let's go to Nigeria. So which Nigerian movie would you say you must watch in the cinema?
Wedding Party 1 couldn't be missed.
I know you're definitely going to say that.
I was going to say Wedding Party couldn't be missed. It had to be watched, and I watched it so many times. Another film that I watched, Omo Ghetto, was Big Picture. Was really, 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 really good. And then a host of other great
Sugar
films.
Rush actually was
Sugar
good.
Rush was very good on the big screen.
Big
Living
screen,
in Bondage, iconic on the big screen. Prophetess. There are films. A Tribe Called Judah that just hit the. Tickets were going as high as 8,000 last year. People were, falling over themselves to get to see. There's just some iconic. When you even see the lay of the film, the structure, you're like, okay, I'm going out to see this. I'm going to leave my home.
Yeah. But this brings me to talking about audience.
Yes.
For you have done 20, and I keep saying 20 years because that's like a milestone. Like,
yes.
What would you say?
22 years this month.
You're joking.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
But what storylines would you say that people gravitate to more so far?
Audience tastes are evolving as well. People just like a good story, and they like something that can entertain them too, something that is memorable. Typically, we'll always say the genres, because the genres, people like light-hearted stuff. Like, look, comedies work if you particularly relatable ones with. And I always talk about characters, because Lagos, for example, Lagos is a movie every day. There are characters everywhere, and we're just expressive, dramatic people. People just want to see a story, and they can see a character that they've seen. There's a jester in every household, right? There is the loud person in every household. Maybe it's a church setting. There is the overbearing Mommy Gio. You would have various characters that you want to see. I was telling people, watching Wedding Party was almost a dramatization of my own wedding that took place in England, 2008. And I knew, in a very, very kind of, non-evasive, or what I call it, non-confrontational way, I knew we had almost like a dance-off between my wife's family and like our family, which is more conservative. And I just saw some of the tips of that happened in that day. You could see it in the film, and a lot of people can relate to all of those scenarios, and people are just looking for those kind of things. So look at the best films that have come out of Nigeria and have done well in the cinema. It's those films that the characters, the scenarios, the setting is something that you can relate to.
You don't think love doesn't?
Love does.
But I don't think it does so well.
It doesn't break out as well, and it's one of those ones that we're also trying to work out. There's one done this year by DME and Timini, and it kind of showed what's possible. All is fair in love. Highest grossing, I think, romantic drama, and so for me, I always see opportunities. Up till then, we're not seeing a film cross 100 million mark in that genre, but now it looks like it can do better and better. So romance works. So romance, comedy,
Action?
action always does well. Action, more international action, local action if executed properly.
When we speak about action, we definitely have to talk about the action, because
Yeah.
we see some of the action movies in Nigeria, like,
Yeah.
what is going on? Like,
Yeah.
they shoot someone and it's taking like 30 minutes for you to die.
It's not for lack of ambition. And a big shout out to all our filmmakers,
Yeah.
because what goes on into trying to make all those sequences work and
Yeah.
believable, trust me, is a lot, particularly in the environment that we're in. So big big respect to them. But if you think about a film like Brotherhood,
Yeah.
that was very, very well
That was
executed.
good. That was
You
good.
know, if you look at the Merry Men franchise as well, they also have done a great job to sustain, like, action comedy, action drama genres, and it's getting better and better. You know, people are now looking at that genre and looking, we can do something here.
Do something.
Trailers have gotten better. King of Boys was the one that really
Good.
opened what's
It was
possible about
amazing.
trailers, and suddenly you do a very, very good trailer that people are talking about.
Yeah.
In terms of the story, again, characters, people watch. So it's really interesting. So those are the kind of genres. We still struggle with horror, sci-fi, because
I think there's already a lot of horror in Lagos.
yeah,
so
exactly. So we struggle with horror in cinemas.
Yeah.
Sci-fi is a struggle. Not a lot of people have dared adventure, but we have one or two adventure films coming that I think will blow people's minds when it comes, like shooting things across various parts of the country, really looking good. And then musicals, for example, will be a struggle. But when I say a struggle, we've seen a biopic. In fact, 2 biopics since the pandemic, Ayinla and Funmilayo Rasoputi, do very well. So for me, I'm always very careful to say what works and doesn't work. I feel once you do a really good film and it's well marketed, I think the audience are beginning to, take to, if it's well done, and you're showing me that this is good quality for my money.
yeah.
They're looking to come out.
Into it. But let's dig deep into Nollywood right now. Before we came on air, we were having a very beautiful conversation. I will say that right now, Nollywood tops it all.
Yes.
Gollywood was somewhere trying to compare, but
Yeah.
before you know, it dropped down.
Yeah.
And I quickly want you to touch on that as well. You were mentioning that, we're very complicit. That's what you
Yes.
said. And he has subbed us, but it's okay.
Sorry. My Charlies and my sisters. I'm your brother.
But we will see that Nollywood keeps going there, keeps getting high.
Yeah.
For a filmmaker like you,
Yes.
what would you say is that spice, that extra spice that you guys add to it that just keeps you at the top?
First of all, big shout out to my Ghanaian brothers and sisters. And look, you were not wrong. Gollywood was and is still very relevant, but more relevant in the past.
Yeah.
And there was a time where Ghanaian films dominated cinemas in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And they were very well watched, they were well talked about. Their films from 6 Hours to Christmas to Perfect Picture to Devil in the Detail to House of Gold.
Beyonce, some really...
Yes, I mean, Beyonce was even earlier. I'm even talking of the cinema era. There are a number of films. There was even Potato. There are films, and that was even a Nigerian Ghanaian collaboration. There's been films that have come up that, you could see that, the Ghana industry was really coming up, and we both understood the power of us working together. But for some reason, those gains, they didn't stick, or those gains were not capitalized on. And that's where the subtle differences between both countries comes up.
Yeah.
Nigeria, our wins, we don't rest on our laurels. What something is working. In fact, people, they want to double invest in that. If you notice, when Wedding Party became a thing, people started doing wedding movies.
Yeah.
When King of Boys became a thing, people started doing more trailers. When action came in, people started, we double down and get into the work. But look, it doesn't change the fact that we have bona fide superstars from Ghana. We talked about a lot of them, John Dumelo, Machi,
Kofi Ajololo,
Ajatiana, the ladies,
Jackie Appiah, Yvonne Nelson, Nadia Buhari,
Yvonne Okoro. We can go on. I mean, these are superstars in their own right. So there's no reason why, those glory days can be gotten again. And I'm happy with what's happening in Ghana. There is a great institution, the National Film Authority of Ghana, headed by my good friend Juliet Asante.
Yeah.
There's a deliberate attempt to attract more production work into Ghana, to attract more collaborations, for us to also disabuse all the pettiness that has gone on between both countries. You know, because that
About
happens.
the jollof.
Yes, yes.
But you've been to Ghana a lot.
I go to Ghana regularly.
Which jollof is better? Quickly, just.
Nigerian jollof. Sorry.
It's okay.
But Ghana jollof is also good.
Thank God somebody has attested to the fact that it's good.
It's not good. It's good. I eat it there when I go there.
Yeah, and you like it.
I love it. I eat it with shit up very nice.
High five. That's
you know
what's up. You know what's up.
Yeah.
You know, but so far you've spoken on the fact that, you know, when Nigerians see something, they invest to make it great and all. But apart from that, what would you say are some of the, you know, good works that have been put to keep Nollywood where it is? Because we're not even like even as till now, Nollywood is doing great. It's doing amazing. You know, you can see a lot of movies coming out. I can now sit down and watch a Nollywood movie, and it doesn't used to be like that before. I can go to Netflix and I was telling you, I just finished watching, you know, a movie. So, you know, what would you say are some of the things that contributed to that?
So again, big shout out to my brothers and sisters in the industry, in an industry where they've not gotten the support they deserve, an industry that has really helped to launder the image of the country positively.
Yeah.
And people forget, even in its old form, Nollywood is what everybody's talking about in East Africa, talking about in West Africa, in Southern Africa, where presidents, you know, calling the celebrities to mingle with them. So Nollywood has done so much more and has given this country a lot of, you know, soft power. So I mean, look, we're beginning to see an evolution. The films are getting better technically. You know, Nollywood doesn't settle. You know, as you're saying it, yes, all these wins. There are a lot of people that feel that we're not there, nowhere near there.
Yeah.
So there is a hunger to be better, even with a lot of challenges and a lot of how would I call it, constraints against them.
Yeah.
You know, Nollywood never settles. There's a resilient group of people that, you know, that want to ensure that stories are told and our people are seen, and that we make money out of this. Nollywood, you know, because of the way we're also set up, there's no free lunch. There's no handouts. So it's about, we must make it happen. Look at the cinema industry. Cinema industry has never been given any kind of aid. Everybody has had to go take a bank loan. Everybody has had to go and raise private equity.
Really?
Yes. Everybody, apart from, and they must get credit, Bank of Industry had an intervention you know, some years ago. But everybody has had to work hard. And look, we've got to find a way to make this industry commercially viable. And we don't stop. Look at, while I was in England, that was what I was thinking as a Nigerian. Like, look, there's audience here. How do we find the audience? And now, Nollywood is taking the challenge of Afrobeats. Afrobeats is selling all these countries. We are already visible through Netflix and Prime. How can we even be bigger? How can we get our films to cinemas around the world? How can we get our films one day for Oscar selection? How can we get to the Golden Globes? So Nollywood is also ambitious, you know. So that's, for me, those are the tendencies. Like I said, we never settle. And I'm telling you, there are people that are thinking, how can I bring Denzel Washington to Nigeria? We're ambitious. You know, we'll keep at it no matter what.
I think Nigerians are generally ambitious.
Very. And very entrepreneurial. Very, very driven. So those are the things, and a lot of people do not know that that's what is also keeping not just hope alive, but the country alive. So, you know, people sit in their various spaces, wherever they are, and everybody's just thinking, how do I create opportunity, or how do I seize an opportunity? That's what everyone is always thinking. And that collective, even though it might be done in silos, that collective mindset of, man, I've got to hustle, I've got to be better, I've got to make ends meet. Even those that even do it wrongly, that collective, you know, activity of wanting to be better is what keeps us going.
But then there's this question that, because when I put up, I was telling someone I was going to interview you today, and there's something that they said I should really ask, and it's been bothering me as well, so I'm like, I'm going to ask it. We see a lot of young talents that want to get into the movie industry, but sometimes they become discouraged. It's either you hear that the money, someone told me that they were offering to pay 150,000 naira to act a movie. 150,000 naira, like to act a movie where she was going to appear like almost in all the movies. We hear that. Also, there's something that we'll definitely have to touch on: the producers
Yes.
and asking for different things from
Favors.
if they're girls,
Yes.
before they put them on. And this is like a pandemic that we really need to speak about as
Sure.
well. As someone who is solid in the
Yes.
movie industry, solid in Nollywood as well, how would you say we can rectify some of these issues?
Great question. I would like the camera to zoom on,
Okay.
on this, and the point. I hope it's not seen as controversial. To your first point on what somebody's paid or being paid, I never endorse or support financial or sexual exploitation. However, particularly as it regards your career, I will always counsel, if you could do that movie for free, to give yourself a stepping stone, to give yourself a calling card, a reference point. My counsel will be, if the 150K you thought, or 200K, or however much, 50K, 25K, you thought was appalling or insulting to your stature, do it for free. Do it for free. Do that work for free. Ask for the tape of this film. You have gotten a film under your belt. You've gotten the opportunity to show your talent under your belt. You might never meet that producer again, but you've gotten that opportunity. I think people need to be smart about how they take opportunities. Nobody's saying you should be stupid. Nobody's saying you should be exploited.
Yeah.
But you are also in a very competitive environment. For that talent that you have, there are thousands that are there. In no way should anyone be exploited sexually. In no way should anyone be asked to offer sexual favors in exchange for roles. We do not condone that. I believe the guilds and associations are firmly against it. As a person principled, firmly against it. It's sad that it happens. It's symptomatic of an industry that still requires a lot of structuring, and that would happen. But it happens in even the most structured environments.
Yeah.
You had the Me Too issues in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So it happens, and we're not excusing it. But to your question on young people getting talent, I very much counsel apprenticeships. I counsel writing to production companies to offer your services on an internship basis. I definitely also encourage, try informal learning on YouTube. There is, in this 21st century, in 2024, there is no excuse about a lack of access. You can demonstrate, you can acquire skills by just being hardworking and seeking for knowledge. You will find, like I said, a production company. You would, if you go online and do your search, you will find one information or the other that can stand you in good stead in terms of accessing the industry.
And I must say, I love the way you answered this particular question, and I'm sure my people will be happy, because there's another one again that I'm throwing to you.
Sure.
There's something about always taking popular faces.
Okay.
And the way you say okay is like, because you know that it happens a lot.
Because I'm an advocate of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes. And
Okay, so you will explain to us why.
Yes.
Because I feel like it's not right. There are people that are really, really good, and you find out that because which actress is really popular in Nigeria? Help me. Very
Funke Akindele.
Bimbo Ademoye.
Yes.
Like you see, like Bimbo Ademoye is a fantastic actress, but they may be people that are really good as well. But then the producers, they want the known faces. Then how would we help these little ones? How would we help the younger generation?
Very, very good. So why I said I'm an advocate of stars in movies is the reality, my dear sister, of the industry that we have, and it's not different to some of the big industries in the world, is that we run something called a star system. Okay. Our audiences respond to faces that they know, they adore. That's what Nollywood was built on. That's why people like RMD, we regard them as timeless. That's why Genevieve Onaji has not been seen in a film for 5 years, and she puts a post on social media. She gets more engagement than those that have been in movies every month for those 5 years. So that's the industry you're in. That's what put bumps on seats in cinemas. That's what gets people to watch in streaming, right? Does that mean we should close the door on new talent? No. It means that we should smartly bed in new talent. It means that the new talent also should work hard and see what does it mean to become a star here. Is it by the likes on social media, or is it by actually doing the work and creating an aura and a personality around you? Is it by getting that one opportunity and making it forever memorable? You've seen people that they stole our hearts.
Yeah.
You know, on films. A lady comes to mind, Genevieve Ume. Genevieve had that opportunity with Blood Sisters, and she took it with both hands.
She took it. She did. She really
And
did.
the number of people that took it. Look at what of comebacks. You saw what Auntie Shola Shobowale did with Wedding Party, and then King of Boys a few years after. Cemented that place. You know that she brings something. What of Chidi Mokeme with Shanty Town? Iconic, unforgettable performances. Those are ways. So people should also learn, what does it mean to become a star? What does it mean to sustain stardom? Because that is an essential ingredient to being sought after. You know, these are very, very important points that must be known.
But let's talk about now and what you do, because I know you do amazing work there. But before we even go to that, what do you think is the future of Nollywood and African movies? And then we quickly talk about what you do with now. Then
Future of Nollywood and African movies. Future is great. Future is bright. Right now, people will be wondering, what is Moses saying? They're not sending the dollars again from streamers. You know, the economy is tough. You know, the cost of production has gone up. What is Moses even really saying? Look, we have stories for days that have not been tapped. Historicals, you know, folklore, musicals, you know, iconic political characters, biopics, for days that have not been touched, that have not been developed. What of our literary works? We have so many of those things that we've not even conceived. So in terms of source of stories and storytelling and types of stories, we are such a huge resource and reservoir. And for me, I'm excited about the possibilities of bringing those things to light. And why am I excited? I'm excited because even if everybody's ambition, let's go global, we've just become such a force that even our diaspora market is strong enough to consume our stuff and consume them in ways that are economically viable. Yeah, I'm sure you know, just sub-Saharan Africans outside of Africa, it's a huge market, right? So for me, that's what I'm focused on. Like I'm not really focused on impressing anybody out of my race. But if they watch it, of course, by all means. But if our people, to serve them great quality content, you know, for me, I'm excited over the next 3 to 5 years being able to do that. To also create platforms that they can watch our stuff. We create employment, you know, for people working in VOD, building out more cinemas, you know, building out more TV stations that can play our stuff and monetize it. Advertisers advertising on Nollywood film. I'm excited about the opportunities that are in there. So for me, it's a bright future I see ahead.
Very bright.
Yeah.
But before we go to our games, just tell me a little bit about Nile and what, you know.
Look, Nile Media Entertainment Group is just this very exciting new entrance into the film and entertainment industry. We use media entertainment because we are looking across multiple platforms, multiple mediums, to express, showcase the best of our stories and the best of our talents in Nigeria and across the world. We want to be transformative agents in the industry by partnering and working with people in the technology sector to offer solutions. And what solutions am I talking about? Solutions in terms of people consuming our films legitimately. We do not have a lot of platforms that, you know, do that. So we want to find more platforms. We want to use technology to find, you know, and to create platforms that people can watch, you know, our films. Nile is about, you know, working through the value chain, production, distribution, exhibition. We have a foundation as well, where we want to give back in terms of knowledge sharing, in terms of information. We want to sponsor people, training, all that kind of stuff. We want to do infrastructure. We want to have sound stages, have a studio. But we want to do all the things that people know and people are used to in the film industry. We want to do them differently. I want to do them with great results. That's what that is about.
What a fantastic conversation it has been, but we're not letting you go yet. We have games, and you know how we do it, but we're going to go a quick break. And when we come back, Moses is right here with me. Don't go anywhere. This is MTN Career Series. Welcome back. It's still MTN Career Series, and I've been having a very beautiful conversation. And I told you, this is the only podcast where we get to speak to change makers and we reform your thinking and just make you amazing in everything you do. And I still have Mr. Moses right here with me. Do you like games?
I try.
You try. So in the Bible, I know that Moses parted the Red Seas, but I don't know if you can part these games right here.
That's why I said I try. I hope I can.
Okay, so we're going to do the mogul monikers right now. Let me explain it to you. So I'm going to give you hints from number 1 to number 52. And then you pick a number. Okay. So I'll give you a hint, and then you tell me if it's a person, if it's a brand, whatsoever. Okay. Are we ready? All right, cool. You don't want to say a little prayer, just, I've
said it in my mind.
Okay, let's go. So number 1 to 72.
27.
27. Okay. Yeah, my first person to go down. Normally people will just pick one.
Okay.
27, final answer?
Yes.
Going? Okay. So 27 says, this Nigerian media entrepreneur has been a key player in promoting African content globally in the early times. Who's this person?
Early times.
The person has a TV where they play mostly movies. I'm just trying to help you. So he has a TV, they play mostly. He's very good when it comes to movies. This person is very big in movies. This Nigerian entrepreneur has been a key player in promoting African content globally in early times.
Why would I know that person?
Movies, he's very big in movies. He has a TV that even displays a lot of movies. The name, it starts from IR.
Iroko. Okay. I'm like, okay. That's my friend.
I know, right? That's why I wanted you to get it. Okay.
Yeah, okay. All right, cool.
So let's go another number.
Thanks. I'll go to 3.
Oh, number 3 now. An oil magnate, she was one of Africa's richest women and very powerful in the industry.
Alakija.
What did I thought it wasn't even... Okay, good. Yeah. Pick another one. Your last?
12.
12. Okay. So he started with a small bookstore, but went on to build an empire online and a computing center.
Amazon, Jeff Bezos.
No, you're intelligent.
I'm an entrepreneur.
These are the pictures. You will tell me what it forms. So here we have like the movies, we have popcorn and the tickets. It's very easy. Very, very easy.
Cinema.
Okay. You got it. Okay, so this one we have a mouse, a laptop, and a keyboard. A mouse, a laptop, and a keyboard.
Desktop.
Yeah, okay, because it's a computer.
Okay. Yeah.
No, Moses is really killing things here. Okay, so we have a pencil, and I think this is like
a
ruler, and that's a building.
An office?
No, so a pencil, the person that draws.
Okay.
The person that will draw the design.
Architect.
Okay. We're definitely not done yet, but you're proving to us that you are Moses, and we love it. But there's another very hard one. That's the acronyms in 30. When we come back, we take Moses on that. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. So yes, are you ready for the acronyms?
Yeah.
Yes, I like the fact that I'm seeing sweat. That's what gives me happiness. Okay. B2B.
Business to business.
B2C.
Business to consumer.
KPI.
Key performance indicator.
AI.
Artificial intelligence.
VR.
Virtual reality.
Let me stop there. You're intelligent. Let me stop there. But Moses, thank you so much. It's been fantastic having you on the show. I have learned a whole lot from you. But before I even let you go, I know you've said a lot of words of encouragement to a lot of young people that want to do movies or just get into the industry. But I want you to specifically, talk to them again. Just inspire them, how they can get to you. You changed your father's narrative. Now he knows that there's money, in the business. So just quickly do that.
Nigerian youths, I know you've heard this and you've heard it so many times, and it's probably almost sounding irritating because of the very challenging environment we find ourselves. But the truth is, this country has a lot of opportunities for you, even in these very, very, very tricky times. My counsel and my admonition to you is to stick things through, believe in what you want to do, and go for it. never give up. The Nigerian spirit is a resilient one. The Nigerian spirit never gives up. Naija no dey carry last. It will all be good. It will all work well. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Of course, Nigeria no dey carry last. That's all I have on this episode, but not to worry. Next week, we're back again with a fantastic episode. I am Ria Abdul. Yellow, and have a beautiful day.